knew that the minivan was tied to Shaun G. Make that make sense, y'all? See, ain't nobody catch that. Ain't nobody catch that. See, see, I caught it. I pay attention. Nobody caught it. Louisville PD told your boy Yellow Beezy. Told Yellow Beezy, y'all, that the minivan that pulled up on him and started shooting at him, because we know it's cameras everywhere. We know it's cameras all over the Rayburn Turnpike. All over the turnpike, y'all. Yeah, we know it's all over the turnpike. Everywhere. Everywhere, y'all. So we knew they got the license plate number. We knew that. I said it. And I always said, something ain't right. Remember, I said to y'all, I said, something ain't right. We know they got the license plate number to that car. Why ain't they talking about that case? Why that case just totally just disappeared, went quiet? Now we know why. Now we know why, y'all. Because Louisville Police and the feds was already on it. The feds was already on it, y'all. Louisville Police told Yellow Beezy straight up. They said it today in the hearing. Go listen to the hearing, y'all. Told Yellow Beezy that the minivan that pulled up on him and started shooting at him when Yellow Beezy got shot up in Louisville belonged to Mo 3 head of security. Now, who was Mo 3 head of security, y'all? Who was Mo 3 head of security, y'all? Shaun G. So that automatically implicates Shaun G in the shooting of Yellow Beezy, right, y'all? So now you wonder why Mo 3 stopped fucking with Shaun G. Because Yellow Beezy knew Shaun G couldn't be trusted. They knew Shaun G couldn't be trusted, y'all. Mo 3 knew that they got his car. So Mo 3 had to distance himself from Shaun G because Shaun G had the minivan. Minivan was registered to Shaun G, head of security. Don't you think that the police will want to know? Because I know how Louisville police work, man. I used to live in Louisville. I did a lot of shit in Louisville. I lived in Louisville for 17 years, y'all. I lived in Louisville for 17 years. I caught a lot of charges in Louisville. You can look it up. I know how Louisville work. You think Louisville PD didn't contact Shaun G? You think Louisville PD didn't contact Mr. Head of Security and say your car is tied to the Yellow Beezy shooting? Why do we see your car on the highway? Who was driving your car last night? Make it make sense. Pay attention. Why you think Mr. Shaun G only got damn near a year in federal prison? Why you think Mr. Shaun G was on federal bond the whole time they was trying to solve Mo 3 case? Why you think Mr. Shaun G got out of jail for free with a PR bond? Niggas don't listen to me though. But I tried to tell y'all, niggas don't want to listen to me. Why you think your boy had a PR bond? Why you think he had a PR bond out the phase, man? Now you know why. I told you. Because niggas been working. The police been knew that he was involved with the shooting of Yellow Beezy. Pay attention. All you got to do is pay attention. The police said it today. The minivan involved with the shooting of Yellow Beezy was registered to Mo 3 head of security. Louisville Police gave that information to Yellow Beezy. And guess what Yellow Beezy did? He went and killed one of the two people that was in the car that night. There was two people in the car that night that tried to kill Yellow Beezy. There was Bubba and there was Shawn G. When Louisville Police gave Yellow Beezy that information, he immediately gathered up the troops and they killed Bubba outside Dixon Circle. So if you want to ask anybody who's responsible for the death of Bubba, you might want to blame that on Louisville Police. Now we know we can blame Bubba's death on Louisville Police. Why? Because Louisville Police deliberately gave up too much information to Yellow Beezy. They deliberately gave up too much information to Yellow Beezy. That's how you know they was watching that nigga the whole time. Because they wanted to see if he was going to get some get back. This how you know that the feds and the police was watching Yellow Beezy and they was watching Trap Boy Freddy and Shawn G and all these niggas the whole fucking time. The only reason Shawn G didn't get killed is because his ass got locked up. If Shawn G didn't get locked up, his ass would have been dead too. If the Fed, why you think the feds came and picked that nigga up the day Mo 3 died? Why you think they picked him up? Why you think they came and picked up Shawn G the day Mo 3 died at the hospital? Make it make sense. Because they knew. So all you got to do is pay attention. I'll be giving y'all some real game. All you got to do is pay attention. All you got to do is pay attention what's going on. So Trap Boy Freddy, he ain't got no other choice but to participate. He can't pull no Little Woody. He got to participate. He can't plead the fifth. Because if he do, he owe a lot of back time. He owe a lot of back time, y'all. If he even think about going against the state, they coming to get him. So now we know Devin Brown allegedly killed his own daddy. We know Shawn G was on the highway that night and his minivan was used to attempt kill Yellow Beezy. Make it make sense, gang. What it do? Nah, but it's open for you. You already know. In the back there. So now we know, y'all. We know Shawn G minivan was used that night when they attempted to kill Yellow Beezy. We know he was there that night. We know the reason he ain't dead right now is because he got picked up by the feds. We know Bubba was on the highway that night. Big L, what up? Hey man, Big L, we found out a lot of information today in this pre-trial hearing, man. Here I come, y'all. Here I come. Yeah, I'm still here. Oh, you know I'm here all night. All night long trying to get this money, man. You know I'm getting this money. You already know. Hold up, y'all give me 1 minute. Y'all give me 1 minute. Yeah, I'm back. So yeah, Big L, we found out a lot of shit today, man. We found out shit that ain't nobody knew. Nobody knew that the van that was tied to Yellow Beezy shooting was registered to your boy Shaun G, man. Nobody knew that before this pre-trial preliminary. Nobody knew that before the pre-trial hearing. And I told y'all it was the reason why Shaun G wasn't in jail. Remember that Big L? Big L, remember I told y'all early, I said that nigga is snitch. I told y'all early that nigga was a snitch. You know what this tell me? Pay attention, y'all. You know what this tell me? If Mo 3 didn't die on that highway, let me say this again, y'all. If Mo 3 didn't die on that highway, Mo 3 was going to jail for the attempted murder on Yellow Beezy. Because guess who was snitching on him? Shaun G. Shaun G was in the process of snitching on Mo 3 for paying for the hit on Yellow Beezy in Louisville. And Louisville Police knew it. Louisville Police knew it, my nigga. Louisville Police even gave the information to Yellow Beezy. They said it in the pre-trial hearing today, my nigga. In the pre-trial hearing today, they literally said out their motherfucking mouth that the minivan tied to Yellow Beezy shooting belonged to Mo 3's head of security. So if you think for 1 minute, them boys and them feds, first, huh? Hold on, I got it. Hold on, I'm gonna bring these wings out to you. So pay attention, y'all. And listen, I'm about to really fuck y'all up. This is why the feds kept that nigga out of jail, because Mo 3 was about to go down by the feds, my nigga, because Rayburn Turnpike is federal commission. That's a federal turnpike, y'all. That's owned by the feds. That's a federal turnpike. Rayburn Turnpike that go all the way from Louisville, the Colony, Frisco, Plano. That is a federal turnpike. So them niggas was done. How you doing? Give me 1 minute, y'all. 1 minute. Yeah, they was done, y'all. That is a federal turnpike, y'all. Rayburn Turnpike is a federal turnpike. That's why the feds automatically was fucking with your boy, Shaun G. You think if Louisville Police knew the car belonged to Shaun G, you think they didn't know? You think the feds didn't know? You think the feds didn't know? So now we know that Shaun G was helping the feds put Mo 3 away. Shaun G was going to use that to get out of his situation with that gun. The gun charge that he got. Mo 3 just so happened to die before he could finish doing what he was doing. Mo 3 literally died in the midst of Shaun G working his case off. Shaun G was literally working for the federal government in the midst while he was around Mo 3. Mo 3 didn't even know it. Mo 3 didn't even know it, y'all. That's why the feds gave Shaun G a PR bomb. Now y'all know why he had a PR bomb. Now we know why. Because he was willing to give them all the information pertaining to the shooting on Yellow Beezy. He was working. I told y'all niggas in the beginning, nobody wanted to believe me. I told you. Now we know why. Your boy, Shaun G, walked out of the feds and paid no money. Now we know why the so-called boogeyman didn't have to pay no money. No money. Now you know why, y'all. Now you know why the boogeyman walked in and walked out of the feds. Easy. PR bomb. The boogeyman, the so-called nigga that run Oak Cliff. The so-called boogeyman walked in the feds and walked out with a PR bond. Now y'all know why. They told y'all today. Why? Mm-hmm. Now y'all know why. Keep telling y'all, man, all y'all gotta do is pay attention to niggas when they talk, man. Now y'all know motherfucking why. This nigga walked in and walked out. I kept telling you, I said, how this nigga get locked up by the feds and get a PR bond? How many niggas you know get a PR bond in the feds, my nigga? I told y'all that. I said, man, you telling me this nigga got a PR bond? You telling me they let this nigga out for free? You telling me this nigga didn't have to bond out for nothing? He didn't have to give him $2? This nigga didn't have to give him $1? You telling me this nigga ain't have to give the federal government $3? He didn't have to give him $3, my nigga. Not even $3. You got it. He ain't even have to give him $3, y'all. He walked in, walked out, didn't pay no money. Straight PR bond. Nobody knew that. Nobody knew that until I brought it up. Because I went and dug his paperwork up and do what I do. Because I know people that's connected to people, and they went and told me, like, look, that nigga got a PR bond. That nigga was talking. He was working something off. He was working in the feds. That's how he got a PR bond. So now we know. Let's go. Now we know, y'all, that your boy got a PR bond because the feds was already talking to him about the Yellow Beezy shooting. Now we know. The feds was already talking to Shaun G about the Yellow Beezy shooting because his car was the minivan used in the shooting. His minivan was used to shoot Mo 3. So you know what that means? They already knew that Shawn G and Bubba was the one who committed the shooting. They already knew. They already knew that Shawn G and Bubba was the ones who committed the shooting on Yellow Beezy. Why? Because Shawn G told them. Shawn G told them. And then what happens? What happens? Mo 3 finds out that Shawn G gets picked up by the feds because it's a federal case, because it happened on Rayburn Turnpike, which is owned by the federal government. Mo 3 start distancing himself from Shawn G. Once Mo 3 start distancing himself from Shawn G is now talking to the feds and giving them information because he got to cooperate now. He got to cooperate with the feds because Louisville PD done told the feds this nigga minivan was the one that shot at Yellow Beezy. Louisville Police contact Yellow Beezy and they say, well, you sure you don't want to work with us? Louisville Police contact Conway. They contact Marquise Conway and they say, you sure you don't want to work with us? Your life on the line. You sure you don't want to work with us? You don't want to press charges? Because that minivan is tied to Mo 3 head security. It's registered to the head security of Mo 3, Melvin Noble. Yellow Beezy says, I don't want to cooperate. Yellow Beezy says, I don't want to cooperate. He want to get it back in blood. So you already know that Louisville Police knew what the fuck they was doing when they told him that the minivan was tied to Mo 3 head of security. You know Louisville Police knew what they was doing. Pay attention. We know they knew what they was doing. We knew they knew what their objective was. And we all know who was in that minivan. Bubba and Shaun G. Bubba would be in jail right now if he was still alive. Why? Because Shaun G was snitching on Bubba. Shaun G was definitely giving up Bubba. And Bubba knew Shaun G was talking. That's why Bubba didn't like Shaun G. Bubba and Shaun G never liked each other. Never liked each other. Bubba did not like Shaun G. Y'all, Bubba knew Shaun G was a snitch. Bubba knew that nigga was a snitch. Bubba knew that nigga was talking. Pay attention. Bubba knew that nigga was talking, y'all. That's why the feds came to the hospital the day Mo 3 died and immediately arrested Shaun G. That's why when Mo 3 died and everybody was at the hospital trying to figure out what happened, what's going on, Shaun G was immediately picked up by the feds. He was the first person picked up at the hospital. Why you think he was the first person picked up? He didn't kill nobody. Pay attention. Because he was already working. He was already talking to the feds. He was already being debriefed. He was already helping them solve the Yellow Beezy shooting. And they made that clear in the pretrial hearing today when they said the minivan that was shooting at Yellow Beezy was registered to Mo 3's head of security. And we all know who the head of security was, Shaun G. Pay attention, y'all. All you gotta do is pay attention. They keep screaming out co-conspirator, Trap Boy Freddy. They keep saying co-conspirator, co-conspirator. You only call somebody a co-conspirator as if you know they were in on the crime. You only call somebody a co-conspirator when you know they both conspired to commit this murder. So if you know that Trap Boy Freddy is just as guilty as Yellow Beezy and he's a co-conspirator, why do y'all think he's not arrested? Why do you think he's not on trial sitting right next to Yellow Beezy if he's a co-conspirator? Stevie Wonder could see this. Ray Charles could see this. The only reason they keep calling him a co-conspirator, but he ain't on trial next to Yellow Beezy, is because he's working with the state as well.